Don't be shy, I know there are. There has to be. Oh, that's interesting. The ukulele, I think, has rescued the fortunes of many a small music shop over the last 10 years. Eminently playable, and you can play the same chord shapes you can then transfer the guitar to the guitar. So it's a good pathway, like those drugs they keep telling you about. But anyway, this is not a ukulele. It has similar characteristics. This was made by a wonderful, wonderful man, David Oddie, down there in Exeter. And he based it upon an instrument that was lent to us by some Chilean exile musicians years ago. We were in a group, an Anglo-Chilean group called Alianza. 3 Chilean exiles, 3 English musicians. It was a funded project. We were just put together one day in this little art centre in Bracknell and said, look, if you can find common ground musically, we can organise a series of tours and a recording. And you know, they had tunes that sounded like Morris dances. They had songs about wrecking down the Chilean coastline, very similar to the Cornish themes and all that sort of thing. And but this instrument in particular we fell in love with. And on the opening night of this tour, the Landlocked tour, in Bournemouth, in mid-January, I started demonstrating to the audience a little theatre called the Shelley Theatre. I started playing the instrument as I always do. I said, this is how the South Americans would play it. And I realised to my horror that the audience was enjoying that more than my stuff. Everyone was going, and I carried on playing thinking, am I going to get out of this? And I thought, well, is there a song of mine that I can play to that rhythm? So it looks like I've constructed this moment deliberately. And luckily I came up with a song called Tall Ships, which is about that theme of wrecking, you know, the old false light on the shore. And I just started overlaying that to this South American rhythm, which is very much a salsa, with that little catch there. So this is a song of mine about Cornish shipwrecking, sung on a Venezuelan quattro lent to me by a Chilean musician made in Exeter. Okay, so I think that's enough ingredients for the moment. I'll do proper world music. Oh, the fishermen rise with the sun, and we work till the day's nearly done. Holding empty nets while the cold sun sets and winter has barely begun. There's a lighthouse a mile from the shore that the storm-weary sailors search for. When the wind and rain bring their gales again, well, it won't shine for them anymore. On the skyline the tall ships sail by, bound for London, their decks piled high. Fruits of warmer lands passing through our hands, so we look for a storm in the sky. We have families with sons on the sea, they work the tall ships of the sea. But our choice is made by the winter days and the children who watch from the quay. That one evening word flew around, a tall merchant man is tempted ground. How we shout and sing, now we'll greet the spring, but we weep for the sailors we've drowned. On the skyline the tall ships sail by, bound for London, their decks piled high. Fruits of warmer lands passing through our hands, so we look for a storm in the sky. December rain lashes the stone. The sea